Good morning, everybody.
Hi, we're Mike and Kathleen Nelson. We're from Orange, California, and we're going to do this power hour with you for the next hour.
Yeah, guys, the last time, I guess we've kind of got two versions of power hours. Traditionally, it's meant to be a working hour, right, where we go through like 10, 10, 10, FAM or something like that. But the last time that we were on, we decided to kind of tell everybody what was working for us, and then get a little feedback towards the end from other people, get some questions or maybe some things that they had issues with. And it seemed to work really, really well because it opened up a lot of thoughts. We had quite a few side messages from people that we don't normally interact with that are kind of up in Anna's team, not necessarily Vicky's team. But it was good to hear the feedback and that we kind of inspired or motivated or got people thinking at least, about different ways to do stuff. So really appreciate you guys jumping on.
Let me go. So just a little bit about what we were doing in August is not really anything different because we're always out sampling and networking. I mean, now that we can get out into spaces and gather with people and build relationships. That's what really this business is all about. To be successful in it, you do have to build relationships, get people to know, like, and trust you, so they are comfortable in placing an order, being a consistent customer. So we've been working on that. We joined a chamber and a city chamber, and that's been going on for about 1.5 years. And we show up to that. There's other people that do our type of business. There's a Mary Kay person, there's an Arbonne person, but they don't show up. They don't show up consistently. So when people are looking to order or try a new product, they're trying it with us. There's other IT people in there for Mike, but they don't show up either. Every once in a while, they'll show up to something live. For the last year, we've been doing Zooms like everybody else. And then as soon as we were able to get out, we were doing two a month live and 2 a month Zoom. So I'm like, what was that? So, what's been working for us is really building those relationships and getting people to know, like, and trust us. We had the opportunity within this chamber at the beginning of the month to do our 10-minute presentation. And at that, Mike came up with this cute little flyer that we were able to hand out. And it had, we wanted to get scratchers, but we couldn't get them in time by the time we thought about it. So let me have that again. So we just used some of the NBug stickers that we had, and we put a prize underneath. So during the presentation, I talked and Mike talked, and then as Mike was talking, I went around and gave about 30 of these out to everybody, and they were having super fun, looking underneath, seeing what it was. At first, they didn't know to lift the tab until I said, okay, now everybody has a prize, because there was a prize for everybody. Some were free eye gel patches, which those were most of them. So most people came up afterwards, redeemed those. We also had free shipping. We had a free face wash with purchase. We had free eye serum with purchase. So a lot of people redeemed those. They ordered a product and then they redeemed their freebie. So we were able to, really share a lot of great products. We had people come up to the table and order right away, which was great. So anytime you can get in front of people to do a presentation like that is fantastic. Just getting them to know your products a little bit better. We, in turn, we did order some scratchers. So we do have the scratch off little thing, and then underneath it has their prize. So those are going to be fun. We're going to just keep those with us, hand them out to people, maybe even send some of our customers after they order, send them a scratcher, and they can redeem it for their next purchase. So we've been doing a lot of that. So that was with the chamber. We've also been trying to get out to, we have a team referral network that we are part of, and that is just a great organization just to, again, meet with the same people every week, get referrals to them, they refer to us. So any chance that you have to join something like that, there's a lot of free networking that you can find on Meetup and Eventbrite. So look at different activities that are happening in your city or surrounding cities, and just try to get involved with that. That's really helped us over this past year, especially, we were all on Zoom, but we were still showing up consistently on Zoom. And, like I said, as soon as we could get out in person, we've been doing that. So we try to go to a lot of the different things. Like last night we had a sunset social. It was super fun. It was relaxed. They had karaoke. They had, but it was just, again, showing up, meeting new people. Tonight we have a ribbon cutting. It'll be completely different people that show up to a ribbon cutting, and it's at a brewery. So, just as much as you can, find those activities in your city and get involved.
Yeah, guys, and I really want to kind of speak to the networking, right? Anytime you're out in public in front of people, it's an opportunity to sample, right? We want to be solution providers first, not product pushers first, right? Because, and I'm going to relate how kind of my launch with the chamber went. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime you're out, and the more of those things that you can get in front of, the more people in a concentrated group that you can get in front of, like at a ribbon cutting, an ice cream social, a concert in the park. Anytime you can get in front of multiple people, you can compress the time that you need to, maybe do a dash if it's the appropriate environment, or just get some information out. But absolutely, it's always just about building the relationships. So when we first joined the chamber, we knew the director because of other networking that we were doing. It was just we were going from brewery to brewery on Wednesday nights, just meeting with other people, right? Just getting out there and getting exposed. But Kathleen couldn't, we joined the chamber first with Neora, then later as my IT business. Well, one day Kathleen couldn't go, so we can send a sub. I went in there, and one of the first people that came up to me, and I really wish I could have had one of those hindsight kind of things, but it was a gentleman, and I asked him what he does, right? You always want to draw out of them. He told me, and then of course he asked what I do. First thing, what do I do? Neora, we have hair care, skincare, and all this kind of stuff. Totally the wrong thing to do, right? Because one, he was a guy. Two, he didn't know me from nothing. I hadn't warmed him up to who Mike is and stuff. What I'd really wished to say was something like, oh, we've got a direct sales business, but I'm really just here to learn about the chapter, learn about everybody here, and see, what I can do for the group. That's the kind of the spin. But now, because we do that, we show up all the time to do things. We're there for them. You guys are fabulous people. You're amazing people. You wouldn't have been invited to be part of this company and this team if you weren't, right? And what I'm asking is that you take that awesomeness when you're out in front of people, when you have an opportunity, at the grocery store or whatever it is, that's not a time to whip out a sample necessarily, but it's a fantastic opportunity just to talk to people, right? Engage them, do the form thing, family, occupation, recreation, get them talking. Come back in a week later, do some more shopping, say hi to them again, go to the same clerk in the same line, just build those relationships. Because what's happened now is over this last year and a half of the chamber is I'm an ambassador. Kathleen is well known for her Neora and her other networking, because we're in this community where it's a pretty close-knit community, even though there's hundreds of thousands of people. These people all, they do things together, right? So through just talking and associations and things, people have really got to know us. Last night we went to an American Legion like Kathleen said, and I got to present 2 new members with the chamber. So here I am, once again, up in front of people, and I love doing that. But one of the prizes was a Neora gift prize, right? So I get to expound a little bit about Neora, and and I even look at the guys. I said, dudes, put it in the fridge, and pop it on your eye, man. It's great stuff. But I've been kind of coining a thing, because in sales there's an adage, I guess it is, always be closing. And Anna talks about this all the time. After everything that you've done, all the reaching out and the messaging and the posting and all that kind of stuff, at some point you got to ask a question, right? That's ABC, always be closing. Always be closing sometimes doesn't mean just asking to get the sale, but it could be also to get the next meeting time, the next phone call, something like that. It's always the next. And what I've really focused on, because I've taken advantage of being an ambassador at the Placentia Chamber, it's in my profile, right? When people look at my Facebook, is I go into these local places, and I think everybody's got them on Facebook, but like Orange Buzz, we live in the city of Orange. So there's a page for Orange. There's one for Placentia. There's one for Yorba Linda, all these little cities around us. I can go in there now and start friending people truly under the guise that I'm an ambassador at the chamber. And because I build other networking, but these people are getting to know me because we're doing the things that we've all been taught to do. Post consistently, reach out consistently, comment on people's stuff, do the 10-10-10 activities, all those kind of things. They start to learn who Mike is. And like I said earlier, you guys are phenomenal people. Pick out those little niches that you want to expose to people in the world and become that persona online, right? Be consistent about it so people don't have a mixed message about you. But then when you get to transition to in-person, you go from being that little Facebook profile picture to being a full-size, life-size person. And I swear the last couple of weeks, there have been 2 people that have come across that I'm friends with Facebook on. I have never met in person, but we had the opportunity in-person meetings, and we're sitting there staring at each other during this meeting thinking, wow, I know that guy. We're both thinking independently, and then we make that amazing connection. But I kind of want to change from always be closing to always be communicating. Guys, it's super rare that somebody's going to drop out of the Facebook sky and say, sign me up, I'm going to be your next national marketing director, right? And if they do drop out of the sky like that, sometimes they don't work out because they haven't had the experience. They haven't learned who you are. They haven't learned who the team is by way of maybe a 3-way call or an invitation onto Zoom, something like that. So always be closing builds those relationships, and it's just absolute gold.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, we talked during Power Hour the other day, is goal setting. And goal setting has been a big thing. They talked about it on Neora U. Barbie was highlighted with her goal setting efforts this month, where they showed her the little chicken scratch and her, I'm going to hit 1, 2, 3 twice. And, that was super exciting to see that. Awesome. And it's working, if you're writing down your goals and you're really going after that intentionally, they're going to happen. So maybe during this Power Hour, you just sit and write, what is your personal sales commission goal? And really, really push yourself to do that. We did last month, we put 4,000 down and we hit it. I didn't think we were going to hit it. We hit like 4,100, I think. So, we were super close to it. And it's like, you just don't give up on stuff like that. So write it down now, do it early in the month, and push yourself to reach that. We had Premier Director as our goal last month, but honestly, I thought, I don't know, this can happen. But we did have it in our sights. And on the last day, we really took into heart the Miracle Equation book. Vicki highlighted it the week before, and that just put in motion in our heads, be like Hal, unwavering faith, extraordinary effort. And so we really pushed that last week of the month with that reminder of that book. So we thank you, Vicki, for doing that on ED and above call. It was great. It was a great reminder that, you can do it if you do that unwavering faith, extraordinary effort, really go after those goals. And, and you have to work hard. We know that this is not an easy business. We have to challenge our team to get their 3 or free, run those contests for them. We've got some contests going on, and Misty created a contest for her team, and we threw in an extra product that, for the winner of that, we'll give them an eye serum, I think it was. So use your NGB points to incentivize people. I know that, you guys that are all on here are strong leaders, and that maybe somebody that's listening in, use the NGB points. A lot of new people, they don't even know what they are. It's a widget on there, and we've got some new people, and, one of them has like almost 400 points. And I was like, do you want me to help you redeem some of those? You can get some, samples, and so we need to remind them that those are there. So check that widget for your people.
Yeah, guys, always communicating and like Kathleen said, the goal planning, that's absolutely foundational, right? And each one of us has a different 24 hours. Some are full-time moms, full-time working students, whatever it might be. Find that time in your day that you can do those activities and those goal setting. So it's not just a rank, but it's also how to be consistent. We've already got all the tools, right? It doesn't mean we can tweak them and adapt them and stuff, but we've got all the tools. We've got 10-10-10. We've got FAM. We've got Form. We've got the goal trackers. We've got the tools in the back office. We've got the videos and all that kind of stuff. Figure out at the first of the week what it is that you need to do for your social media, your reach out, the people that you need to reach out to, those kind of things, and just eke out that consistency, because that's what builds these lists, right? I'm going to admit, a couple of years ago when I got active with Kathleen, I had a really poor Facebook following because I would just sit daily and, scroll. And if people friended me, I accepted them, whatever. I never commented on their stuff. But since learning about Form, I apply it to online, FAM, and especially 10-10-10. Guys, those videos are in both Destination Success and in Real Believers. Use it because it absolutely works. I grew to over 1,300 people. They're good, active people that I comment on. And I was really surprised the other day. I got notification of a couple of new followers. I got over 1,200 followers, right? So it's just about building. And, I kind of want to highlight that list because we did pour through our lists heavy to meet our goals, really heavy, right? And when the product announcements were coming out on Sunday morning, I was sitting there freaking out thinking, oh, I need a bigger list because I just blew through my list trying to reach my goal. I need to, be pouring into that list building constantly. And it's just critical. When you're sitting there at the first of the week wondering, oh, geez, what am I going to post? Well, you should already have saved in your Facebook Barbie's post and Vicky's posts and Deb's post and Liz Mary's and everybody on here. Save those as you come across them. You don't have to act on them at the time. Save those and go back to them when you feel that you need something, right? I'm absolutely positive Barbie does that morning coffee thing. I'm absolutely positive she knows where she's going to go get those funnies every day. I know where I go get my funny videos about animals every day, right? I don't have to rethink those things. So plan out your week, plan your goals, plan your rank ups and stuff like that. Because when it comes to crunch time, like, oh, geez, who am I going to tell about this Acme product? You don't want to be thinking about it. You don't want to be saying, oh, I don't have anybody to contact. I don't know what to post and all that kind of stuff. you know, and back again about the rareness of, you know, you post once and somebody says, sign me up. It doesn't happen that way. It just doesn't. I mean, in professional networking, I also build chapters of other professionals like CPAs, accountants, chiropractors, and stuff like that. And when somebody leaves, I do an exit interview, and people a lot of times will say, well, I didn't get anything out of it. And the moment they say that, I know exactly what the problem was, because they didn't put anything into it. And if they had put things into it, if they had been of value to others in their sphere, either online or in person, and that's what we're talking about with, you know, Meetup and Eventbrite and going to these socials in your community. Be there for them. Don't just be there for Neora and for you, seeing what you can get out of it. Become a good, a valuable person for those people. If you see them asking about a plumber, you know, think back in your memory. I know this plumber here. I used this guy. Our neighbor used him. They liked him a lot. Be of value, because once you become a valuable person, they're going to trust you much, much more. And then when you start talking to them and approaching them about your products, that is what's really going to sell, right? So when we started off, I said, be a solution, not a product, right? People buy you first before they buy your product. That's just immensely critical, and it honestly just blows me away. And these are people that are professionals, right? An insurance agent, and I didn't get much out of it. Well, I know, you know, and because I build these little chapters of these professional groups, I know the stats. I know how many referrals they're passing. I know how many people that they've invited to join. I know how many coaching sessions that means. You know, we go and have a one-on-one learning kind of thing to learn about the other business. I know that. So when they pop up and that's the first thing they say, I didn't get anything out of it, put more into it. You know, just put a lot more into it. And that's really the key. That's what we've been doing. You know, it's been a long time. The other day I asked Kathleen, I said, how many hours do you think it's been that we've traveled up to Placentia and spent in person on stuff? It's a lot. It's a lot. Let me tell you, it's only 20 minutes away, but it's a lot over this last year. You know, Zooms every Friday for an hour and a half, ribbon cuttings, and, you know, all kinds of stuff, sunset socials, ice cream socials, just all kinds of stuff. But it's paying off in a big, big, big way. It's just, you know, that's really it. I think always be communicating is just the absolute foundation to that. How to do the communicating, we've already been given those tools: FAM, Form, 10-10-10, you know, the back office tools, the Go Prospect, using other people's posts and things is just immense. We've got the tools. We adapt them. And actually, I want to call out a perfect example of adapting. Liz Mary, I'm gonna start hashtagging her the queen of the QR, right? She's the queen of the QR code. And and Vicky took both the concept of the QR code, this thing, the lift up, the NBug lift up thing. She created her own. Went out to a professional networking, or had samples going out. I don't remember exactly what it was. She just adapted those two little things, put it together, and took it to a whole nother level. She didn't reinvent anything. She put some nice graphics and you know, just adapted. You know, just adapt and go with what's working at the time. Keep those little things in your toolkit and use them.
Yep. Definitely. So you guys all are on here that are successful. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. Do you guys have any tips or some things that worked for you last month, or that you're putting into action this month? Anybody?
Nothing unusual, just having conversations. Just like Autumn said on NU. And I just spent this morning watching NU again because it was pretty powerful to me. And I needed to hear some certain stuff that she uses. And she is so very calm and explaining, right? Whereas normally I'm 100 miles an hour. she brought it right down. I said, I need to hear that again. So this with my morning coffee, and I heard her specifically say again, I want to have conversations, right? I'm asking questions. Like you said, Mike, I'm not vomiting Neora. I'm telling them what's available and I'm asking questions because I want to have a conversation. So honestly, that's where I'm still there. But that NU for some of you, go watch it again before Monday because it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
And guys, I'm looking at the screen to see who's on. When these things get posted to Destination Success and Real Believers and Neora U and all those kind of things, part of that conversation is pushing down to the team, right? Because I'm seeing people ask questions a day or two after NU, a day or two after something's posted in Destination. And granted, I can't pour over every single video, but I try to get out there and see all that kind of stuff. I'm seeing people ask those questions, and had they just gone and watched that post, a lot of the answers would be there for them, right? Mm-hmm. So part of that communication is we push that down to the groups. And
I think too is making posting on there when somebody does ask, say, go watch Neora U from Monday, August 2nd, whatever it was. That those things people aren't tapping into, like Mike said, they're asking questions all the time about what's just been presented in front of them. And even on Vicky's post where she was showing the scratch off thing, people were asking, and that's been, a couple times that we have gone on and done a video. Mike was on Anna's Power Hour a couple weeks ago talking about that. So people aren't tuning into a lot of the lives.
Yeah, granted, we've all got a very busy life, right? Everybody to a different degree. Just encourage those people to go back and plug into those things. For activity like the FAM exercise and the 10-10-10, take those basic things, because like in 10-10-10, it says go and scroll, Facebook and find like the non-Neora people and comment on their stuff. But don't just do it on the static Facebook wall. Do the birthday posts. Go into Messenger, wish them happy birthday. Go up to the feed where it shows the stories and scroll those real quick. If they post a picture about their dog, make a comment, because we want to draw them into a conversation. It's all about the conversation. Make a comment in their story that lands in their Messenger. And then if they haven't responded to you, or you see that they read it and they're not engaging yet, go back a couple hours, a day, go back and make another comment. Go back to your Messenger thread and say, I'm still thinking about that. That was the funniest video I've ever seen. Try to draw them out again, just keep those conversations going. And another one, I think Facebook has changed, but when you get these posts, like I saw one today was bacon, crispy or floppy, and people are answering all their answers. Well, I see a couple of people in my friends list that are answering. I don't just answer the question, or what's worse, I don't scroll by it. I go to their post on that question and I reply to them, bacon, or nah, I can't agree with that. Like one was, what's the worst candy in history? Somebody said licorice, and I said, can't go with you there, but yeah. Candy corn we can agree on. Yeah. And we had a dang conversation about it. Just draw those people out, because the conversation is the key. It's just, I can't emphasize it anymore. We do it here on the sidewalk in front of our house when people are walking by. People walk on the other side just because that's the side they chose. Guess who's yelling across the street at them? Hey, how are you today? I do that because we need to draw those people. I love our neighbors and stuff, and I don't want to just be the Neora guy, but I want to be, a good neighbor. So to use the quote, it's just conversation. It's just, be good and valuable to those people, and then the things that we want are going to happen. A great quote. I don't know who it was, but winners don't see others as competition. Winners see abundance for everybody. And there absolutely is. There just absolutely is. There's abundance for everybody and success for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
May I ask a question, you guys?
Absolutely. Yes.
This is kind of off topic, but it goes back to what you were talking about NGB points. And a lot of my new starts down line didn't know about it or that they had them. Is there a report we can run that shows how many points they have? Because I kind of went through it. No, there's not. I have access to some of their accounts, but not everybody. I want to be like, do you have enough for 5 boxes of hydrogels? What do you do? No.
I think on that, you just have to reach down. You know, I do have access to one of the ones, the one that I saw that she had all those points. Because she's not there yet where she can manage her customers and her own account. We're getting there, but I saw that. And so I reached out to her, but yeah, I wish there was a support.
Well, the NGBs build off of your first customer and your subsequent month, right? So you could go to each person's dashboard and do their customers. So, because you'll see their previous month's order and the current month's order. So you can kind of guesstimate that they're going to have points off of that.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't have time to go through all those people.
That's right. That's right.
And add them up.
But you
I did go through how to find them and explain, you know, how they achieved these points and how they could spend them and, you know, month after month. And then you have to explain the difference between the full product and no, don't waste them all on samples. You want to get full size product. So hopefully it's sunk in. I just hate, none of them are so old that they're in danger of losing any, you know, they're not getting the expiration at the end of the month or anything, but oh my gosh, it would be, I wonder if Neora would create a report like that for us so that we could help our downline redeem those.
I'm honestly wondering if there's a video already in Go Prospect or in the back office training segment from all, you know, the years past when they did all those different trainings and things. There's got to be a why you have NGB points, right? And just push that out to them.
I would rather just go, you have enough to get 6 eye serums. What are you doing?
That would be awesome.
Well,
you know what you could, I was going to say, sorry, you can make a quick video yourself. You know, I've been doing that a lot lately with new people saying, hey, here's how you find your NGB points and then send that to them. So, I mean, that's an idea. Make your own short. Yeah.
That's a great idea, Vicki. I'm going to do that. And just like a quick, I mean, it's so fast to show them. That's a great idea. Thank you so much. That's what I'm going to do.
good job. See, a solution is provided. Ask a question and find a solution. So good job. Who else has a question or comment or what's working for them?
I wanted you to tell everybody about Sergio, how, you know, the whole, when he walks by, you guys got to hear the story.
Mike could tell it because Mike's the one that grabs our neighbors. And but Sergio, we met him a year ago.
Pretty cool how I tell this story. Huh?
We it was an unfortunate situation. We met him at a funeral, actually, for one of the neighbors, and and Mike was like, I'm going to talk to that guy. He's going to get into Neora. And that was over a year ago. So I'll let him tell his story.
Yeah. So we met him, right? And he's like 2 houses across the street, not directly, but coming and going at different times. So we've overlapped and I'm, hey, Sergio, you know, that one of those, you know, that's one of my originals.
Sure, he's not at the window.
You know, but we bump into each other and stuff. And I think what really turned the corner was when we got locked down. I started gardening and then I started doing my fermentation. You guys have seen me post about that, right? Well, I had too much sauerkraut, too much kimchi, too many pickled eggs and things like that. I wasn't able to eat it all. So I'm yelling at my neighbors, hey, you know, you like kimchi? Do you like, you know, sauerkraut and stuff? And I was giving them stuff, right? I'm sampling them. So he turns into be kind of a foodie guy. He goes to all the cool places in Orange County, right? He just loves food. Well, he ended up really complimenting the kimchi. So we became a lot closer. A couple of times he'd come over and ask if I have some and this and that. And, you know, I wasn't looking to make any money. I'm just, sure, let me give you a, you know, little Tupperware and stuff. And we're just doing these conversations. Well, we knew that he worked at Disneyland because we see him come out in his uniform, talking to him, asking questions, right? Guys, ask questions of people. Instead of talk at them, ask and shut up and listen. They will tell you everything. So we find out, you know, through the pandemic, he got laid off like a lot of the Disney people. He started driving Uber, but he hated doing the Uber driving thing. And he since has evolved into a couple of other things. But hey, how's it going with Disney? Are you getting brought back? Yeah, they took a bunch of administrative jobs, right? He's starting to tell me this kind of sob story a little bit, and it's an opportunity. Then one day he comes over and he says, are you still making that kimchi? I want to start buying like a gallon from you a week because I'm trying to lose some weight. And I go, lose some weight, huh? So, and I just let him go back across the street, right? I don't just pursue him like a Labrador out across the street. So a couple of days went by and, you know, now we're friends on Facebook, right? Because we're neighbors after all and all this kind of stuff. And I texted him, I said, you know, hey, Sergio, you know, a couple of things you talked to me about this week. You know, I think I've got a solution. Why don't we sit down and talk? Because he was complaining about, you know, the whole Disneyland thing. He sits in his room over here and he works from home, scheduling people for Botox, you know, but he does that. And, you know, one day I said something like, guy, I see you out all the time. You're traveling all over the place, eating stuff. And I said, you know, you've kind of got a cool life. And he goes, you know, one of those kind of things, you know, so it's just another indicator, right? And I don't pursue it heavy at the time. Come back around, let it be, you know, a non-pursuit kind of thing. Because I think the basic psychology is, I wish we had a psychiatrist in the group. You know, we're all junior psychologists, but I think the fight or flight thing exists when we're being sold to, right? We've always heard nobody likes to be sold, but we like to purchase. And I think it's the fight or flight in us. If I, you know, pursued him across the street, hey, you just said you wanted to lose weight. There goes the wall, right? And that's just not going to work. But that's been the trip of Sergio. And you know, I want to give Kathleen big props too. I went over and did a dash with the guy. He was interested. He wanted to buy some products. He was looking at day cream, eye serum, and EHT, right? Fantastic order. And I was like, cool, you know, good order. But I came back and told Kathleen, and she says, well, that's an essentials kit. Let's sign him up.
Yeah. So
I handed him off to Kathleen, you know, and we've got a good advantage here, you know, kind of good cop, bad cop, whatever you call it. You know, it's an advantage because I didn't close the door on signing up. I told him, but I didn't pursue at the time because he was already giving me a lot. He was coming a lot of the way that I was asking him to come along, placing a really good order. She gets on and explains, Sergio, you're already there. You sign up, you're going to get this product. Boom, 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 boom. She listed out the stuff, and you know, he just makes this. Yeah, let's do it. Boom, done deal, right? Simple decision for him at that point because it just makes absolute sense. But there's no way in, you know, forgive me, HE double toothpicks. There's no way in HE double toothpicks if I'd have pursued him across the street, you know, the day after we met him at that funeral or whatever, wouldn't have happened. Just wouldn't have happened. And it's all just been a progression. And, you know, we talked about lists early. Your list is lots of little bitty segments for lots of people, and you got to keep on feeding and nurturing that along the way. Some of it fairly consistency, some of it in bigger chunks as people come available in their life to you, you know, without you pursuing. Now, obviously, end of month is a time we kind of pursue, but
Well, I have to add a funny on top of the story. So, asking questions. So he wanted to try the product. So we had some of the products. So we're, come on over. We'll give you some of the products so you can get started before your kit arrives. And so he came over, we were chatting a little bit. I'm like, oh, what area in Disneyland do you work in? And he works in entertainment. And we find out that he works with all the princesses and all of them.
all the actors.
And then he said something about,
well, we start telling him about the night cream.
No, he was telling us about a brooch that he had, remember? And then he gave it to somebody famous. And he's like, I regret that I gave that brooch, but I got it for free because I used to do Chanel and I used to do, all these things. I'm like, well, what did you do for them? And he said, well, I'm an esthetician. And we're like, oh my God.
Yes. And we're sitting here trying to tell him how to apply the night cream. Wash your face, leave it a little damp. He says, dude, I'm an esthetician.
Like, oh my gosh, this couldn't even be any more perfect. But if I didn't start those conversations, we probably wouldn't know that still today. So it is, about trying to get to know people. And we just thought that was awesome, just an extra bonus to that story.
Yeah, guys, think back to what I told you I said at the very first chamber meeting I went to. I kind of went in stupidly, kind of going in guns a-blazing, with my New York cape on. And that was a pursuit story. I was there stupidly looking for a sale. Honestly, that's what it was. But I've grown a tremendous amount since then. And I really, hopefully we pass on to you guys, it's the conversations, ABC, always be communicating.
That's what Barbie said, that is her number one focus is conversations. So just being able to start those conversations, have those conversations. I was going through my phone at the end of the month and I was like, oh, who can I contact? Who can I contact? And I was like, gosh, there's so many people in here that I have not contacted for so long. I couldn't call them up and say, hey, you ready for a night cream? Because we just hadn't had those conversations. So now my phone is like, oh, okay, how's the last year been? And I'm just starting to re-engage with people. So, do that as well, especially as we were all in lockdown. I know we were working our business, we were reaching out, but there's a lot of people that I still need to reach out to.
Yeah, guys, a big point, right? Everybody's got a 24-hour period. People have different stuff going on in your life. Find the segment that you can do, but make sure you're intentional with that time. If it's only 5 minutes in a day, take that 5 minutes, because if you don't take that 5 minutes, you're not being, I don't want to use the right words, but maybe honest and truthful with yourself and in your business, right? Because when it comes time for you to want to, end a month is a great example. You have a big need, you want to reach out to people. If you haven't done that setup ahead of time, even that 5 minutes every day, 5 minutes, liking, loving, commenting, retweeting, whatever it is with people, making a phone call, just, how was that lunch, whatever. You can't set up, calling somebody that you talked to 2 years ago, or that you sent us just 2 little simple words, happy birthday, 2 years ago, because there's no in between. It's very, very difficult.
So who wrote down their personal sales commission goal? Anybody? You wrote it down. Barbie, of course, wrote it down. Anybody else? Show us. All right. That's your challenge for the next 15 minutes. Just write a goal, make it a goal.
Hey guys, I don't remember, was there something else, maybe, Vicki, that we can cover?
This has been so good. I have to say that if you cover nothing else, I think this is going to be so helpful for so many. I'm trying to think anything else that from Wednesday.
Are you going to have something that they're doing, that you guys can share? Connie, Barbie, Cindy?
I was going to say, sorry, I'm interjecting, but you guys unmute if you've got something, but I did totally copy. And that's one thing I'd like to say that Mike, yes, Mike said, I took it, adapted it. I totally copied you guys. Like Mike and Kathleen were so generous to send their Canva flyer. So I tweaked it. I saw that he had Placentia and I went, oh, I need to put eWomen Network because I thought that was brilliant, that they'll feel special, that it's just for, the networking group you're going to. And then I found the Olympic rings because that's been, my little thing, right now. But so I just copied you guys and it's exactly what Kathleen said. Just so you know, if you guys are going to try it, where I handed that out, we get in groups of 10 twice during the networking meeting. So the first one, I handed it out, but I didn't have time to say, hey, lift it up before we went to the next group. But the next time, so I learned something, right? You're going to learn. So then the next time when we sat down at the round tables and I handed them out, that, we each got a minute to tell about ourselves. And I was engaged, I was focused, I was asking questions about them. But then when I found the right time, I said, by the way, you guys, nobody lifted your little N, lift the N, you won something. So you're right, Kathleen, you have to tell them. And it needs to be kind of the right timing, but you guys will all learn that. And so all those samples went out. It was awesome. And now I have like 3 people that one girl won a New York Fit. Yeah, I gave eye patch. She won eye patches, but then she asked me, do you have something for weight loss? So seriously,
Yeah.
do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, guys, and like Vicky just pointed out, in my professional networking, I hate to refer to that a lot, but I learned a ton. So what Vicky just kind of experienced and explained was kind of what we call the commercial, right? You in these groups, and it works really well, even for like casual setups, casual environments. In these networking groups, you get generally 30 seconds, 1 minute, sometimes a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then occasionally you get to do a 10-minute presentation, but those 30-second, 1 minute are what's called your elevator pitch or your commercial. Guys, take the time to write down what you want to tell people as if you met somebody in an elevator and you only had 30 seconds to tell them what you do, right? And it's not the Neora vomit. We got this fantastic firm, the lady called it, Spanx in a bottle kind of thing. Not that. Some good general creative thing. We help people look better, feel better, live better. We believe in a culture of giving back, and we have fantastic holistic wellness products. Covers your body from head to toe. Whatever you want to say. You've got 30 seconds. And the absolute key to that is once you get that, you need to practice it. Stand in front of the mirror, stand in front of your spouse, your significant other, and you've got to be able to say that over and over, because when it comes time to drop that, it needs to roll just like that. Because the trepidation, the stuttering, and those different things that take up that 30 seconds is golden time. It's just absolutely golden time. Right? Because you may not get another chance to talk to them if you don't deliver well. And it's just really key. So whether we're talking about a networking group, you go to a meetup for a wine tasting, a ceramics group, whatever it is, be ready to have those quick, very, not vague, we don't want to be vague and elusive, but those very quick, well-worded commercials about you and your business that you represent. And sometimes if you get like a minute opportunity in those, you can then ask also for a very specific type of referral. So you definitely do not want to be vague in those kind of things. You want to be specific. So, and today I'm asking for people that maybe want to address any hair issues that they have, whether it's a man or a woman, graying hair or not. Those are the type of people that I'd like to have a referral to for this week. That's a very specific ask, is what they call it. You're trying to plant a seed in the people that effectively become your marketing team, right? And whether you're in a professional setting, a casual networking setting, or even with your neighbors and things that have just said no, not right now, or something like that, you can still ask. Do that ask. We always teach, well, then go ahead and ask for a referral. That's what this is, right? So you've delivered your commercial. They've maybe said yes or no. If they've said no, we know that we're supposed to ask for a referral. That's how you do it. Be very specific. Don't ask for, I want to find somebody that is interested in holistic hair care, boom, 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 and you list everything off from head to toe and you're flipping your product training guide at them. Just be very specific, because then you can change it up next time, that kind of thing. Those are very, very powerful when you plant the specific thing in people's head. A week or 2 or 3, or maybe even a year down the line, they'll be somewhere and somebody will be complaining about their hair, and they'll think, oh, Kathleen told me she's got something, and it'll come around to you.
That's what you hope, right?
Yeah, and if anybody ever wants, I would do another Zoom just on how to deliver your commercial. We call it spend 5 minutes on your 1 minute, because it takes a little bit of time to develop that thing. I've gotten to the point where if I go to like a chamber where there's going to be other IT people, some are exclusive where there's not going to be another person in your category. But say somebody goes ahead of me and they give a commercial about the thing I was going to give a commercial about, I've gotten to the point where I can adapt like that. Just turn on a dime and talk about something else that's in my portfolio for my offerings. And when you get to where you're that quick on your feet and you're able to deliver, and it doesn't even have to be, pristine and profound and, all these magnificent things. You just don't want to waste that opportunity and be, and I'm going to tell you guys, I always talk about the extremes, right? I'm going to talk to you about an extreme. A guy started doing NLP coaching. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. And it's a way to learn how to read people and how to communicate in their language when they talk to you. Anyway, he started being a coach. His commercial was, I'm looking for anybody that's having any kind of problems. That was his commercial.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
God.
What's he talking about? Automotive, plumbing, finances? What is he talking about here? I had no clue. And because I had no clue, I'm looking at him like, are you serious? He kicked himself down a few notches rather than just standing up there and saying, I'm looking for people that need to learn how to read their children better or their spouse better because their marriage relationship isn't the best right now, or whatever it is, right? Instead of doing some very specific thing that he can coach on, I'm looking for anybody that has anything kind of thing. That was his commercial.
Yeah.
And it does not work like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, our gardeners here.
We should definitely do a Zoom on that, because I was telling John, I still struggle with that 1 minute, the 30 seconds, 1 minute. So you don't have to be perfect. You guys have been networking a long time. And I still feel like I don't have it quite right. But I think that would be great that, we help everyone with that.
Well,
yeah.
And I think that's so important. I remember when I first started, it was like, how do you approach that stranger? How do you talk to somebody in the Starbucks line, and it's more about, hey, what do you do? And then hopefully they say, what do you do? And you've got that 30-second, that's, I'm a solution provider for blah, 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 or whatever, you want to say. But I think a lot of new people really struggle with that. I know I did. And, now it's a lot easier because we've been doing it for so long, but new people need that 30-second, how to talk to somebody, because otherwise you vomit on people, and that's not what they, and then they're like, oh, trying to sell me something.
Yeah. And the flip side is because I've heard so many very good 30-second, 1 minute commercials. I can smell the crap too. When people get up there and they're maybe afraid to tell what their business is. There's a lot of people in the financial world that do this. There's one group in particular, I can sniff them out in a heartbeat. I've heard so many creative ways that they present their ways of, because they're trying to draw you in, but they want to cloud it. They don't want to reveal their true nature. And I think that's just criminal. And when I see it, yeah, Barbie.
No, please continue on that, because curiosity marketing drives me bonkers when people do that, because they're fishing for information. And I've seen other direct sales people, all they do is post curiosity things where you're like, well, what's that for? But you know what? It's so grotesque, like you said, and you're like, ew,
Yeah.
right?
I'm gonna
Oh my
give you
gosh.
guys two examples, and this is from the same financial group that does not have a good reputation. But one young woman, I was impressed with her, well kept, smart, intelligent, well spoken, and everything. I was talking to her, and I asked, "What do you do?" She says, "I teach young people how to manage their finances, because as we know, they don't teach that stuff in high school. Coming out, onto your own, getting your own apartment, getting your first job and things, that's really important that we teach young people that." And I thought, absolutely, I believe in that. Brought her to a network meeting, and she tripped up on that 30-second commercial, and I could tell exactly what it was. Another guy, he showed up and he says, we develop creative funding mechanisms for businesses. What a load. What a load. He's a financial services guy that's trying to get your 401k so that he can put it under his management. And he's not even saying that. He's not saying it. He wants to get into a business because he thinks that the business owner is going to be curious about having some alternate creative ways to fund his business operations, right? And this guy's just looking to get some time because, as we know, and I apologize, anybody who's a car salesman, they get you in. The key is sit you down. Sit you down, and then if you say no to the first guy, they bring the next guy, you say no to him. Pretty soon you say, "Sign, just get me out of here," kind of thing, right? And that's what a lot of these people prey on, is that they just pressure you and pressure you and pressure you, or fib to you, and just string you along forever. And it's just wrong. It's just absolutely wrong. But there are very effective ways. I would be very happy to do a focused one on how to deliver an effective 30-second or 1 minute, and give a lot of examples. Maybe I can, I love that. Maybe I could adapt some to, different businesses and things, try to think even on the fly and just teach you a little bit. There's basically 5 key steps that you want to cover, and you can swap them around a little bit, but it's just like the going live. First time is really rough, right? It's super rough. Cindy's still on here. Yeah, I love calling on Cindy. Going live is super, super tough. And Pat Scott does a phenomenal job now too. Super, super tough to go live, but you do it over and over and over. Don't go back and listen to it. Don't think about how awful your voice sounds, or that the camera was wrong, that you said the wrong thing. Just do it, and you do the next one, and you do the next one, and you do the next one. And pretty soon you're rolling them. You're just rolling them like a pro, and you're having a lot of fun with them. The same can be done with these commercials, and it really helps a lot. Yep.
Yeah, let's book it. Let's book that. We'll talk offline and book that for next week or something. I think we should get on it, right? Thank you, you guys. You were amazing. Amazing. We're over here.
Well, guys,
Gold from the Nelsons yet again.
guys, you know what? I don't think I have any creative thoughts about stuff. I'm taking stuff from everybody else too. We talked about copying. I'm just taking what other people are giving me, and I adapted a tiny bit also.
That's the beauty.
It's just, that's the
And
way
you're
to do
being
it.
successful. That's the beauty.
Yeah.
Why sit?
Be a copycat. I think it's so funny when people ask, "Oh, can I copy that?" Oh, of course, copy it.
Yeah. Don't ask. You don't have to ask. Yeah.
Nope.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
You're amazing.
Have a great weekend. Oh, regional
Thank you, guys.
tomorrow.
Awesome.